Hello everyone. Welcome to this video series on Java Technologies Lab. So today we are going to look at the experiment 2 program. So before going to look at the program, first of all, let's see what is there in the database. So in my system, I have already created a database. So to view the database, I mean list of databases, we can give the command dot databases. Okay. So you can see there is a database called students.db and its alias is std. Okay, so std is like a nickname that we are using to refer the database students.db. So in the previous video, I have already told you how to attach a database, how to detach a database and all these things. And also to see the tables which are there in the database, we have a command called dot tables. Okay, so you can see that there is one table whose name is data. Okay, so how do you see the data in the table? You will simply write a select query, select star from data semicolon. So don't forget to give semicolon after each command in SQLite. Enter. Okay, so you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows at present. Okay, and how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns are there. So if you see here, I think you can relate these column names to the last experiment data, right? So what did you do in the last experiment? So let me run the experiment here. So the first program was to display a registration form, right? So if I run this, yes, okay. So here is the output. So you can see there is register number, student name, mobile number, the course, the branch, and the section. Okay, so there are 6 items, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for all the data elements, I have created one column for each data element. So in total there are 6 columns. Okay, so how do you create the table? That is up to you. So I already told you. The I mean, it is out of scope to tell you all these comments, SQL comments. So you will already learn these comments in DBMS lab. So I am not going to tell you how to create the tables and all these things, right? Okay, and let's say if you want to see the structure of the table, so there is a command called pragma. Okay, and subcommand is table underscore info, and within the parenthesis you will give the table name is data semicolon. Now you can see the structure, right? Structure means it will give the column name, it will give the data type of the column, it will also give you other information like is the column not null, is there any default value for the particular column, is the particular column in a primary key, like that. So if you see here, register number is the primary key, that's why it is 1. Okay, remaining columns, name, mobile, course, branch, section, these are normal columns, they are not primary keys. So the only primary key in this table is register number. Okay, all right, so let me show you once again the data in the table. So again I am telling you there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows at present. Okay, so that's it for the database part. So let me close this one also. Now let's create a new class. So how to create a new class? Just right click the project name, new class. Okay, so let's leave the package name blank, and in the name of the class let's give reg form db. Okay, I am giving the class name as reg form db since we are using database. Okay, and That's it. Leave everything as it is and click on finish. Okay. Okay, right. So I am removing this code and I am copy pasting the code for this program. So don't worry, the entire code will be provided in the description along with the theory for the experiment too. You can refer the description for the file. Okay. So before going to explain the program, actually you have to do one more step. Okay. So what is the step means? Again, right click the project name. Here my project name is Java underscore lab. I right click that, and there is something called build path, right? So in build path, choose this one, add external archives. Okay, click on add external archives. Okay, so if you remember in the previous lab, you have already downloaded SQLite files, right? Okay, that time you have downloaded actually two things. Let me show you. Uh, One is this one, okay, and another one is this, okay, right? So you have downloaded these two zip files from SQLite website, and you have downloaded one more file, this one from Maven repository, right? I think you remember. Okay, so this is the driver file. Okay, so Java needs a driver file which belongs to the database. What is the database we are using? SQLite. Okay, so for every database there will be something called driver through which the JDBC will connect. Okay, so JDBC means Java Database Connectivity. It's an API which contains some classes and interfaces to let your program connect with the database and perform some operations. Okay, so how does your Java program connect to a particular database means by using the driver. Okay, so if you see here, what is the type of the file? It's an executable jar file. Okay, jar means Java archive. Okay, jar means Java archive. So select this file and click on open. Okay, so you can see the jar file has been added here under referenced libraries. Okay, so this step is very necessary. If you don't do this, your program will not work. Okay, so please perform this step and let's see the explanation for the code. So the code is very much, I mean, much of the code is same as in the previous program, but I will tell you what is added here. So these 4 lines are added in this program. Okay, so whenever you want your Java program to connect with a database, you will use a package called java.sql. Okay, so inside this package, in the java.sql package, there are so many interfaces and classes available which will allow your Java program to uh, connect with the database and also perform different operations like insert, update, and delete. So if you see here in these 4 things, connection, prepared statement, and SQL exception. Okay, just leave this one. Connection and prepared statement, these two are interfaces, whereas driver manager is a class, and also this SQL exception is a class. So don't give that much focus to this exception class. This is not that much important, but we need to use it. I will tell you why we need to use this SQL exception. Okay, so just concentrate on connection, driver manager, and prepared statement. Okay, so connection and prepared statement are interfaces, and driver manager is a class. Now, what is the use of connection and driver manager? Is these two? Uh, I mean, the connection interface and driver manager class. These things will help your Java program to establish a connection with the database. Okay, so in this case, the database we are using is SQLite. Okay, so what is the why we are using connection interface and driver manager classes to establish connection to the database, right? And what is the use of prepared statement is This is used to execute parameterized queries. Okay, parameterized queries. I will tell you what is meant by this parameterized. Okay, but for now, just remember that prepare statement interface allows us to execute parameterized queries. Okay, right. Let's go down. And one more line I have added is this one. I am creating a con reference to the connection interface, and I have made it as static. Okay. Why I have made it as static means because I will be accessing that con reference in a static method here. Okay. Now if you see here, this connect method is static. Okay, and inside that I am using this one con, which I have created here. Okay, so con is a reference to the connection interface, right? So that is another new line which I have added in this program, and this is all the same code which is in the previous program. uh, Now in the main method I have added this line, connect. So what is connect? It's a method, user defined method, which I have written here. Okay, so I am calling this method from the main, right? So when is this method executing? So this method is executing after creating an object for our regform DB class, which will show you the output, GUI output, the registration form. So after displaying the registration form, what is happening? We are calling connect method. So now let's go to connect method. So this method I have entirely written here in this program. This is new, which is not there in the previous program. Right. Now we are using try block. I think all of you know what is the purpose of try catch, to handle exceptions, right? Now what we are doing here is, if you see the catch block, we are catching SQL exception, right? That is why we have written here java.sql.sql exception. Okay. Now why we have written this is because this method, it might throw this exception. Okay, so this get connection method, which belongs to the driver manager class, it might throw an SQL exception. We can't say. Okay, exception might come or might not come, but if it comes, you should handle that. That's why we have written here SQL exception, and this method is going to print the errors. Okay, the errors which are stored on the stack, print stack trace, right? Then, so let me come to the first line in the try block. So connection is initialized to the value null, nothing, empty. Okay, then we are creating a string object called URL, and see what is there, what is the value we have given here. So this is called as the connection string. Okay, so this entire thing is called as database connectivity string. So if you see here, there are three parts in this entire string actually. There is one part JDBC, second part is SQLite, third part is the path to the database. Okay, so here first thing we are saying is we are using JDBC API, and second thing we are saying is we are trying to connect to SQLite DBMS, or the driver we are using is SQLite driver, and the path to the database is this. Okay, so this students.db is stored in this path, D drive, soft folder, SQLite folder. Okay, now we are again using this con reference, and we are giving it the value driver manager dot get connection. Okay, now driver manager is a class. Inside this driver manager class, there is a method called get connection, which takes the parameter URL. And what is the URL? This is the URL. Okay, Now this method is going to connect or establish a connection to the database, and that's why we are printing connection established to database. Okay, now if there is any error in this line, okay, the control will go from this line to the catch block and it will print the errors here. Okay, otherwise if this line is successfully executed, it will go to the next line here and it will print okay, sorry, there is a mistake here, connection established to database. Okay, now that is this connect method. So what is the purpose of connect method? To establish a connection to the database. Okay, now the other set of code which I have added is this one. So where did I add this code? I have added this code inside the if block. So whenever I click the submit button in the registration form, after displaying the label which we have done in the previous experiment, I am also doing the insert operation. So what I am doing here is I am trying to insert the data, which whatever we have given in the registration form, we are trying to insert the data into the table. Okay, so the first line is an insert command, SQL insert command. So what is this command? Insert into table name. Table name is data. Values. How many values we are trying to insert? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 question marks means we are trying to insert 6 values. Okay, so do you remember what is the use of a prepared statement? I already told you initially, right? It is used to execute parameterized queries, right? So what is meant by a parameterized query? This is a parameterized query. Okay, so this is an example of parameterized queries. Means the some of the values will be missing. Okay, and the missing values will be specified here like this. Okay, right? Okay, so see, now we are using prepared statement interface. We are creating a reference to the prepared statement interface pstmt, and the value that we are assigning is we are using the con reference again. I think all of you remember con. This is the con. Okay, con reference again, and we are creating and we are calling another method called as prepare statement. Okay, so this prepare statement is available in the con reference. So con reference belongs to which interface? It belongs to connection interface, right? So in the connection interface, there is a method called prepare statement. Okay. And as a parameter, we are giving this query SQL. What is there in the SQL? This query, insert into data values, whatever values you want. Okay. And now after this, we have to specify all the 6 values what we want to insert here. Now first value is, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is this numbering is? The numbering of the question mark here. So for example, if initially I write 2 and in the next line if I write 1, this value goes into the second column. Okay, this value goes into the first column. It is like that. So these numbers are the position of the question marks. Okay, so I am changing it back to 1, 2. So in the first column, what is the first column? First column is a register number. Okay, so we are getting the value from register number text field. Okay, so what is the second column? Second column is student name. So we are getting the student name value. Similarly, third column is mobile number. We are getting the mobile number value. And fourth column is the course, BTech, MTech or others. And fifth one is branch. Okay, ECE, EEE, CSC, IT, that one. And sixth one is, I think it is the section number, right? Yes, sixth one is section. Okay, And after giving all the 6 values, we have to execute another method called as execute update. Okay, now this line, this execute update, is going to actually insert data into the table. Okay, and then if it is successful, we are trying to print data is inserted. Otherwise, if there is any error in this uh, in the execution of this line, it is going to go into catch block and print the errors. Okay, so that's all, that is the program, right? So I am going to quickly again tell you, we have added these 4 lines at the top, import statements. Okay, and added a new line inside the regform db class, this one, where I am creating a reference to the connection interface. And after that, in the main method, I have added one more line where I am calling the connect method. Okay, and at the end of the program, I have created the method connect. Okay, where we are specifying the database details. Okay, and we are using the get connection method, right? And inside the action performed method, okay, and inside the get action command equal to submit, here we have written some more code, which is this try catch block. Okay, what we are doing in this code, we are trying to insert the values into the table, right? So that is the program. So let me run this program first. mm, Before running the program, I think all of you remember the last row in the table is John, right? So now let's see, let's run the code. Okay. Okay, see, right? So this is the same thing we have seen in the last program. Now you can see on the right hand side, it is telling connection established to database. So where is this coming from? Why is this coming? Because this one has executed and the output is this. Then this method is executing connect method, where the code is this one, right? Okay. Now the output you have seen in the console is this: connection established to database. This thing, right? Same, connection established to database. Okay. Now let's see the remaining thing. Now let me give some random values. Uh, let's start. Let's start with 1, 4, 8, 4, something like this, and let's say student name is Divya, mobile number 772255 9966. Okay, course, let's say BTech, branch is CSC, section 3, submit. Okay, now you can see immediately in the console what is being displayed, data is inserted. Okay, now if you see in the console, that's okay, that is fine. But to actually see whether data is inserted in the table or not, again you have to execute the command select star from data. Now you can see the student Divya, right? Here, these are the details that are inserted here. 1248345, student name is Divya, mobile number is this, course is BTech, branch is CSC, and section is 3. Okay, so this is how you establish connection to a database and insert the data into a table which is in the database. Okay, I think everything is clear. Okay, so if you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. And if you like the video, hit the like button. Mm, so that's it. Thank you.